G'day traders, and welcome to a new week in markets. And what a week we've got coming up. So a lot happening this week. We're probably going to see a lot of volatility and maybe some crazy markets. Okay, so before we get into that, let's recap some of the stuff that happened on the weekend, because we certainly got some very, very important headlines out on the weekend. Okay, so the first one that we got out actually happened late Friday after markets closed. And that came from the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen in her last day actually announced that the US had reached its debt ceiling. So the US has run out of money, and the US would officially run out of money on January the 21st, which is literally Trump's really official first day in office. So what does this mean? This basically means that the US cannot borrow any more money until they raise that debt ceiling. So the debt ceiling is raised by Congress. So that could take time before Trump gets Congress together to actually extend that debt ceiling again. And in the meantime, it means that basically if the US is running out of money, it can't pay its bills. And the worst case scenario for this is if they actually default. And a default would certainly be very market unfriendly. So certainly, look, you need to be watching out for headlines on exactly how the US is going to try to get itself out of reaching the debt ceiling on the first day of Trump's presidency. The market to watch certainly too is going to be the bond market. Because bond markets generally do not appreciate, irresponsible management of debt, and they require high yields for that. So let's see how the bond market goes. It is a market holiday for the inauguration, also Martin Luther King Day on Monday in the US. So we probably won't really see too much action on any of this until probably the Tuesday. Okay, so the other big news on the weekend, and this was huge news. Look, Trump did run on a pro-cryptocurrency agenda during the election. We all know that. One of the things that the market is looking forward to at the start of his presidency is that potentially Trump will have a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's why we've got Bitcoin back above 100,000, around about that 105,000 as we speak at the moment, and close to record highs. So the Bitcoin the Bitcoin basically bulls are certainly looking forward to any announcement on that. But also the wider crypto community is also hopeful that maybe that strategic reserve could be an actual strategic crypto reserve. And so instead of just having Bitcoin, might actually have some of the other blue chip cryptos. Maybe have Ethereum, maybe Solana, maybe some XRP, a mix of cryptocurrencies. And certainly if something like that was announced, this is obviously very, very bullish for crypto community in general. Now there is more. Trump also released his own Trump meme coin on the weekend. So this was released without any sort of, knowledge from the market that it was going to happen, and it was released at a price of only 18 cents, and over the weekend that rallied as high as $75. So we're looking at gains that well in excess of 10,000% gains, which is absolutely astronomical. This meme coin has now officially been basically recorded as the fastest growing cryptocurrency ever released, far surpassing what any other crypto has ever done. So absolutely phenomenal stuff happening on the weekend with the Trump meme coin. Now, 1 billion coins were basically minted for this release. 200 million have been put into circulation, and Trump owns the other 80%. So with the meme coin going up as high as $75, you're looking at a market cap of over $70 billion for this Trump meme coin, which is absolutely astronomical. But it also means that Trump's profits for it, when it's up at those sort of levels, is in excess of $50 billion and $56 billion. So it's the fastest money Trump's ever made. A lot of ethics have been questioned about whether or not this is morally or ethically right. But the bottom line is it has happened, and it's real. The other thing that's happened just before I've come on to give this market update is that Melania Trump has also released her own meme coin. So this is actually starting to get almost quite comical, what is going on. But the bottom line is that if there were any doubts in the market about whether or not Trump was pro cryptocurrency, I think what's happened over the weekend, we can certainly put that to bed, that obviously this administration is going to be exceptionally pro cryptocurrencies. So again, look, crypto certainly is dominating all the headlines at the moment. We're seeing huge rallies in the crypto space, and I would imagine, look, in the short term, this is probably going to continue. So, moving along, yes, Trump does get inaugurated tonight at Australian time. It's past our bedtime. If you want to watch it live, it's around about 3 a.m. in the morning. But past his inauguration, once he actually does take office, we have had a lot of leaks that he is going to pass about 100 executive orders. So that certainly is going to be meaningful for the market, because we'll finally start to see some of his policies and exactly what they look like. There's been some leaks so far. The first one is obviously on immigration, that he's going to close the borders. And then also, looks like he's going to announce a national emergency with Mexico. So Mexico's certainly going to get the brunt of things straight away. Also, energy policy looks like there's another leak there, and no surprises there that Trump is looking to pump as much crude as possible. So what that means for the crude market, whether or not that trades lower on that. But one thing we haven't had any leaks yet is on the tariff policy, and that's the one everyone obviously wants to know about, because that's going to be the one that has the most meaning for markets. But certainly it seems as if the markets are starting to lean that maybe he's not going to be as aggressive on the first day on tariff policy as what potentially the market was looking at previously. But at the moment, again, it's so uncertain, so very hard to trade until we actually find out. Now, besides what's happening with Trump, the other big thing to look forward to, and that's moving away from the US and something locally here in Asia, is we do have a Bank of Japan meeting on Friday. And it looks as if the market's pricing in an 80% chance that they will hike rates their policy rate from 0.25% up 0.25% to 0.5%. Now that does not seem like a big move, and it's not. But the Bank of Japan rarely raises rates, so it is a big deal. So if you are trading dollar yen, I would suggest that this is something that you need to focus on. And that I would suggest going into Friday, if we do see any sort of rallies in dollar yen, that the best play is probably selling into those rallies for this potential rate hike from the Bank of Japan on Friday. The last time they did raise rates, we did see the carry trade unwind. There were some other factors that did help that, and that was the fact that the Fed was looking to cut rates aggressively at the time as well. So we are in a different situation when we are looking potentially at a Fed pause and the Fed staying higher for longer. So I'm not sure if we'll get a big carry trade unwind, but no doubt dollar yen can move, and we should see some volatility on the back of that. Okay, so Trump inauguration's coming up next. Obviously, we're going to see a lot of headlines, and so I suggest maybe trading light, and maybe not holding positions for too long, just in case the market turns, which I'd imagine it could do, and see volatility on the back of what happens in the next 24 hours. Good luck, and we'll check back in with you shortly.